with my lovely co-host Rainisha. Welcome back, everybody. If you don't know already, I am a real estate professional located here in the South Florida area, and I created Money Mondays to be a platform to share information to those in the minority communities, and especially children. And Money Mondays is supposed to be that place where we just come and share tips and tricks on finances and mindset and all that good stuff, right? So, today we're going to talk about real estate investing, something that everybody's trying to get into, including yourself, right, Nisha? So, before I even get into anything else, what I want to say is there's a major key when it comes to real estate investing, and that's credit. And we talk about this a million times on this show before. Cash is king, but credit is power. Did you know that you can actually purchase properties with a credit card? Yeah, I was waiting for that reaction.
Thanks. Well, thank you for letting me know. Can I get a credit card?
If you have credit cards with enough capital, you can actually purchase a property, whether it be for yourself or an investment, using your credit card. And that's exactly why credit is great. It's not only for loans, but yeah.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if I had a $500,000 credit card,
Absolutely.
basically I could go and buy a house.
Swipe it up.
And buy a house.
Swipe. We have an in-studio question, first ever.
Rich?
How high does your credit have to be for you to have enough capital on your credit card?
That is a good question that I do not have the answer to because I am not a credit specialist. However, I will write that question down so that the next time we do talk about credit on this show, we can answer that. Let me write that down. How much capital do you need to have? Capital,
and who would
high balance.
Capital One is definitely one of those
And
people
what's
that
the
give you
credit
500,000.
And what's the credit score?
That you need to get a
Definitely
certain amount of
800.
You need to be within the 750s and up. Definitely, I would say to get that amount. And then also it depends on your history too. You need to have long-standing history. You need to show that you're trustworthy and things of that nature. I am under the weather, so excuse me, I'm gonna cough. So, there are many ways to invest in real estate, but first you got to assess yourself first, right? And figure out how involved do you want to be. Do you want to be hands-on? Do you want to be a middleman? Or do you want to be a silent investor? So it really just depends on you and what you want to get into. So for example, for a silent investor, my recommendation would be an REIT, or a real estate investment trust, which is similar to a mutual fund. It's a company who owns, operates, or finances income producing real estate. So what you would do is you and other investors are going to be putting money in a pot, and basically they're going to go out and do their investments, and you'll get your dividend back from that without even having to do any kind of work. So you just put your money in and you get a return.
That's
now,
nice.
It's nice, but is it the capital that you're looking for? When you hear real estate investments, you're thinking 100,000s and up. This is not going to give you
that kind of return.
That kind of return, exactly. Okay.
That's good to know.
Now, another thing to know about the real estate investment trust is that these are you can also publicly trade it. So like if you were trading Forex or anything like that, you can trade real estate trusts as well.
Nice.
And there are 3 different types of the real estate trust. There's equity, which is having to do with real estate income producing properties. There's also mortgages, just what it sounds like, loaning mortgages indirectly or directly. And then there's hybrid, which is a fusion of the two. Okay. So for the next one, if you want to be like a middleman, you want to get your hands dirty but not too dirty, what you would do is wholesale properties. And this is how wholesaling works. You go out, you find a deal. Once you find that deal, you go under contract. Now, do you put money down? Absolutely not. You do not put money down. Once you have contracted that property, you go now and you find a buyer. Now the buyer,
Well, how I go about doing that? And do I have to have a real estate license to do that?
no ma'am, you do not have to have a real estate license to wholesale
So why are we not doing
properties.
this on a daily basis?
I mean, hey, we could do it. You don't need any money to wholesale. Don't listen to people who you need 1,000, you need to call people. No, you find the deal, you find the buyer, and you sell your contract to the buyer. So let's say, for example, there is a house that's broke down and the seller wants to get rid of it and they want to sell it for 100,000. I'm gonna go into contract for that house for 100,000. I'm gonna come to you and I'm gonna say, hey, there's a house over there. You can buy it and flip it, and you can make a big money on that. You want to buy it for 150,000? You buy it for
So-
150,000. I get my 50,000. The seller gets their 100 and call it a day.
So how I get this list and figure out so I could go bother people?
Well, that's the thing. You have to be able to find the deal. So you can do, you can go on tax records to see if anybody is delinquent in their property taxes, or you can just go see if properties have been abandoned and go find the information.
And I don't. In order to get this contract, my credit score, nothing is in place.
No.
Nothing.
So you've never heard this information before?
I've never heard this.
I've
Or
never heard of that
or
either.
I would have brought about 10 properties by now. Or I would have sold 10 properties by now.
I thought a lot of I honestly
I'm
thought
not in the
today
real
was
estate
going to
game
be
like
a
that.
regurgitation kind of show, because this kind of information is out there.
But we need some more information on this middleman thing, because we could be sitting in this office every day doing middleman stuff in between our other stuff that we do. I wouldn't mind doing middleman. 50,000, especially if I land a deal 3 times in the one day.
It could be 50,000, it could be 10,000, whatever you charge.
Oh no!
you're
If I find a
charging.
place for $100,000, I want 150.
Now here's the thing: you can't just do anything with your contracts, though. You have to make sure that a contract is assignable. Now, some people are not going to want their contract to be assignable because, like you said, assignable means you can pass it to anybody. But you want to make sure that your contracts are assignable. That means that you have, once you assign the contract to someone else, you do not have any responsibility for the contract.
Okay,
Okay?
that's good to know.
Now, I think this show is really going to be short because I'm basically done with my list.
Now I see tax liens.
If you want to be more hands-on, I have 2 different choices for you. Tax liens, which is another thing that's people have been talking about it. Tax liens are properties that are delinquent in property taxes. So what you would do is you would go on your local tax preparer, you would do research. They have a whole list of properties that are delinquent in property taxes, and depending on how much you want to invest, what you would do is you'll purchase or you'll pay that person's property taxes for them. Now, there is a redemption period. A redemption period means that that person has a certain allotted time to come up with the money and pay their taxes back. That redemption period is 2 years in the state of Florida. So, which means that once you pay off the property taxes for that person, you have to give them 2 years to either pay it back. And one or two things can happen. If they pay back their property taxes, good evening, Q. Nice to have you back. So if if that person does pay their property taxes, what you would do is you would get your money back plus interest. Now the interest is a nice interest. It's like 18%. It's double digits, boo. Okay.
And how low are these taxes? Like, give us a range.
Okay, so earlier this year, I did look, and they're not cheap as you would think. They're 10,000 on some property. It depends on the property, because some of these properties are really, really nice, like $1 million properties.
And you're telling me that if this person does not resolve this issue, say there's a property that's 10,000, 50,000. We partner up and we come up with 15,000, and we put the money down on this property, and they cannot pay. You're telling me we're gonna get this probably $500,000 property? For
Yeah,
nothing?
you become the rightful owner of that property. The property is yours.
Sis.
So, which brings us to our next investment, which would be a fix or flip or fix and rent. So after you acquire a property through the tax liens, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to live in it for yourself? That would be cool, but Yeah, you got a house for $10,000 or $15,000, but where is the income coming out of that? So you can either fix it and flip it, which means fix it up and put it back on the market, or you can fix and rent. Which personally, I would tell people to fix and rent because you can get more of your money that you put into it back with renting than you would with flipping.
Now, question: these tax lien properties, are these properties not having a mortgage on them? If it's up for tax lien, or will these properties have mortgages?
That's a good question. It depends. They could and they could not. This is
Okay.
just the taxing is just you're
But would we
delinquent
know
in
that
property
prior
taxes.
to putting the money on
You
there?
would have to do your research on the property.
You would have to personally
Yes.
do your own research.
You are
Okay,
required
so
to
you
do
hear
your
that
own
out there?
research.
Definitely make sure the person doesn't hold a mortgage on their property. You can always get that from this.
I mean, even if they do, it's property. It's public knowledge. Even if they do, that's them. You're not responsible for their mortgage.
So even if you get the house, take over the house, and they still have a mortgage, I can't kick them out.
Oh, yes, you can.
So
It's
I
your
can. So
property.
hold on.
Now,
So
are they
you
going to
t-
be willing to get out? That's
No,
something.
but the
But
mortgage.
it's your property. So what you can do is you can turn around and ask them for rent if they don't want to get out. You can be like, well, if you don't
Yeah,
want to
but
get
then
out,
if I
rent
do
me.
kick them out, that means I would have to assume the mortgage, right?
No, you
They
own.
would still have to continuously pay their mortgage, even though they got kicked out.
I don't know about the mortgage part. That's a good question that I wasn't expecting. I would have to do more research on that. But you're not responsible. You didn't take out a mortgage on that.
Okay,
property.
so I basically got that property scotch free,
Yes.
and if they want to stay, they could pay their doggone mortgage, and
no,
stay.
they're paying you.
No, they could pay me the rent, and then I worry about the rest.
They'll pay you the rent, and we'll figure out what to do about the mortgage. Pretty much.
But I mean, usually, I mean, if it reached to, I would think personally, if it reached to that tax lien level, I think the bank would have already took themselves out of that picture. Because one thing with banks, when that's going on, the bank will pay it.
Yeah.
Because they're aware of this.
Or they'll foreclose.
Or they'll foreclose on you. Exactly. So but let's double check so we don't put no weird information out there.
Yes.
But the more I think about it, yeah, bank does that. Because I remember one time this lady was crying in my office because the bank paid her insurance for her. Because that's another thing, like people, you have to pay the insurance on your property. And I guess she wasn't doing it and the bank took over and then they taxed her real hard for that.
Ooh. Yeah.
Real hard. Because it was a ridiculous amount of money they told her that her insurance was. When technically, if she did the right thing, she wouldn't have had to pay it.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we've got to be very careful.
with fixing and flipping, you want to make sure that you are putting your property on the market in a correct price range for that area. You don't want to fix it and put too much equity into it and then want to sell it high and it doesn't sell, it sits on the market. So with fixing and flipping, you want to make sure that you're doing the right research so you know exactly how much equity you should be putting into the projects, so you know also how much you're going to get back. Okay.
That part.
And when you're looking at comparables, don't look at comparables that are active because they haven't sold yet. You need to look at the comparables that have sold because those are the only things that are going to be able to tell you in which direction the market that area is going in. Okay. And fixing and renting, if you're going to rent for the foreseeable future, I say, hey, go for it. Put the nicer the better. You can charge an arm and a leg.
Oh, trust me, we know. You could charge an arm and a leg. And a tooth. And a nail.
So that was my tips on real estate investing. One thing I didn't touch on in this segment was about capital gains taxes.
Oh, yes.
You know you have to pay taxes on everything you do, but there are ways around that, and I don't know if I want to give it away in this video or if I want to make a whole separate video to give it away, because I'm coming back with the real estate tips on this channel. But with capital gains, you want to make sure you hold the property for 2 years. Once you hold the property for 2 years, you are not going to be taxed as much for capital gains.
That's why the little landlord
What do you
think he's
mean?
slick about 2-year lease before I could buy.
2 years. So if you have a property, you purchase a property, you can wait 2 years and you won't have any capital gains to pay.
That makes sense. You see how sneaky these little landlords
You know what
are?
I'm waiting for you to talk about?
What?
203K.
Okay, so the 203Ks, I'm going to make a whole separate video on that because it's some juicy information.
I want to know about that.
That's what I wanna. That's what I think I'm going
Another
to.
in studio. Y'all messing up my video rotation now.
Okay, so
talk about that.
you guys stay tuned. All listeners
You know
out
what?
there, stay
You know
tuned
what?
for 203K.
You know what?
Stay
I will
tuned
talk
for the
about
tax.
I'll briefly talk about 203 because
Briefly.
it is a part of the real estate investments. Okay, so 203K loans is basically a renovation loan. You can get a house for cheap, and you could get a new construction for that way. 203K loans. There is no limit to what you can do. Now 203K is a renovation, but you don't have to use it to renovate. Let's say you want to buy your traditional loan is not closing and you want to buy, like I said, a new construction. You can go the 203K route and have it closed, and let's say you want to add a pool, you can do a pool. Or let's say you want to change the AC, you can do something small as changing the AC, and now you got a brand new house for very, very cheap.
I think it has to be at least $5,000 worth of repairs, though. At least. They have a minimum and a maximum repair amount.
That's why I went to do the video, because I don't have the information on hand. It's a lot of information.
Right, we're gonna wait for that.
But-
'cause that's what I want to know about. I can't wait for you to talk about that.
Yes, 203Ks is serious. 203Ks is serious. You can.
It's a lot. I think we could do a whole segment on that. I think we should do that next show.
No, that's gonna be recorded video on.
So why you gotta pre-record it? Why we can't do it live and do what we do?
Because that was supposed to be a real estate tip. It wasn't supposed to be a Money Mondays video.
Listen,
True.
it's a real estate tip. I'm sorry, Money Monday, people out there that wants to be entrepreneurs. You know that she's been trying to help you. She doesn't want to give you all that information on Money Monday. So please go on her real estate channel
The same one you're
so
watching.
you could get the 203K information
Alexis
and the
is
tax
South Florida
liens.
Oasis on YouTube.
You see how beautiful she look, and she came into money, y'all. One of them investments, the Forex, I think, from that guy about 4 episodes ago.
Yuri the Fury. What's up, Yuri, if you're watching? Don't forget to sign up and use his link to sign up for, what was it? Shoot.
Robin Hood.
I think so. I think it was Robin Hood.
Robin Hood is.
Listen, dude, you
The
need to check
bomb,
on my
yeah.
stocks I got over there.
Well, come join us. We got another in-studio guest. It's one of our sisters, Miss Olivia Hartley Bell. Welcome to Money Monday.
This the one in the background talking.
Sorry that I'm in the background talking.
So share with us your Robin Hood experience, although it has nothing to do with real estate investments.
So Robin Hood, I downloaded Robin Hood and I didn't really invest immediately. But what I like about Robin Hood, and when I started investing was during the pandemic when the stock market was crashing. What I like about Robin Hood is when you look up a stock, or even if you're not looking for a specific stock, if you are on the homepage of Robin Hood, let me pull it up.
Oh, she's giving you a
She-
tutorial.
Okay.
This is the
She got
pro
receipts for
stock
y'all.
market lady right now.
No, I'm
Go.
not. I'm not a
Yes,
pro.
she is. She's a pro at everything she touches.
I'm a pro app user.
Everything she touches, she's a pro.
So when you go on Robin Hood, they have.
Look at that. I see money and she full. And she's trying to run off of the link. I see them. What?
have-
Oh, sis, you ain't tell me you had $1 million?
That's some nice money you got there.
That's some money.
Okay.
Listen, what
You
we
been
doing?
holding
She
out.
doing better.
When
Listen,
you go-
can you pay my rent this month?
I wish I could pay your rent. When you go onto Robinhood and you go to browse, they have articles, stock tips from the Wall Street Journal. They have lots of things like what's going up, what's going down. They have things that you should be watching. And then if you're searching for a specific stock, like let's say KXIN. Okay, so I don't own this stock, but this is, how do I get it?
A little closer. There, the other way.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
This ain't
So you
OnlyFans
have
now.
this here. I know, right? And you can see the growth, but you can also see what percentage of experts say to buy, sell, or hold it. Let me see. This one. So it'll tell you like 74% say to buy, 30-something% say hold, 10% say sell, whatever. So what I like to do is, even though I know nothing about stock, if I see a stock and it says 90-something% say buy, I'll buy it. buy how much I can.
mean,
you can buy it. You can put money on the app. You can do whatever you like. And if you're investing, you can kind of, on the website, you can kind of track the trends for the stocks you have. So even though it's showing that all my stock is dropping, because I bought it when it was so cheap, although it's dropping, I still made money. I still made money on it. So I mean, it's a really fun way to kind of invest and at the same time learn about the stock market, because they have all that information listed there. Like, look at all these articles. Half of the stuff I bought is just from looking at these articles, these videos, stuff I never knew because I don't follow stocks, but it's easy because it's right in your hand.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, I will provide a link in the descriptions for those who are interested in downloading Robinhood. If we have any questions while we're live on real estate investments or anything else that was shared today, go ahead and leave that in the comments so that we can address before we call it a day.
We'll give it a few seconds. Do we have a question or two?
You had actually an announcement to share about.
Yes. Okay, so the city of Fort Lauderdale, go online. The city of Fort Lauderdale right now has funding only if you're in the city of Fort Lauderdale to help you with your rental payments. And also, I want to say, definitely if you're experiencing any issues with your rent, water, light, please call Carrie's Guardian Angels, because at this current moment there is a system that I could go into to check and see what's in your area. So I don't want to just give out just city of Fort Lauderdale, because Miramar has their own thing going on. Yes. Hollywood has their own going on. So just reach out to me if you know that you need that assistance. Reach out. Let me see if I could go ahead and search the system and see what you need. And see if we have anything available, if they have anything available in your area listed on the help websites. Yeah, and all I want to do is offer some inspiration to you guys. I know it's rough. Everybody's feeling it, but we just got to keep our faith, keep our heads up. It's almost over. It will be over soon. I know it hurts. We have sleepless nights. We're crying in the shower, but we're going to make it. Okay, so I don't want you to feel like you're the only one out there going through it. We're all going through it. It's the way you carry yourself. You know, keep walking around saying you're $1 million. Keep walking around and saying that dream is going to happen.
And never give up.
And don't give up. I don't care how bad it looks. I don't care if your house is smoking. Don't give up.
So let's talk about some mindsets when it comes to real estate investments. Research. I cannot say that enough. Do not rely on anybody. Even if you have a realtor like myself, if you have
supposed to rely on you?
You need to double check, fact check. Yeah. You are responsible. Even if you're buying a home, which is an investment in itself, you, the buyer, have all responsibilities to make sure that all the information is accurate. You can't rely on me because I'm going to rely on public records. What if public records is wrong on the system? I mean, it's not saying that I'm not doing my job or I'm doing it poorly. I'm just saying, always fact check. Do your research. Yes, take advice from professionals, but make sure that everything resonates with you as well. And also, investing in real estate is not something that's quick. It's going to take a while, so you have to have patience. You also have to know that real estate is an up and down journey. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the quitters. You're going to have times where you're going to be happy. You're going to feel on top of the world. Then you're going to have other times where you are feeling terrible and you're going to want to give up. But it's important to know that it's a journey, but the end goal is there, and you have to take the journey in order to get the end goal. So research, take your time, and be patient. That's all I got to say when it comes to real estate. And also, know exactly what it is that you want to do. Don't get yourself involved in something that you don't really know too much about, but you feel like you want to do it, and so you just jump in. No, take your time, figure out what it is. If that's not the avenue for you, find a different one. As you can see, there's multiple different ways to bite the apple of real estate. Okay?
There's a piece of pie for everybody.
For everybody.
Love you guys.
You already ready to end the show? So, do we have any questions or comments before we leave? We will give it a moment. I had some. This always happens to me. I had something that I wanted to talk about, and then I forgot. Oh my goodness!
I want to talk about this lovely makeup you have on today. But okay.
I feel like my makeup looks terrible. I tried a new.
You look cute. You look adorable.
A new foundation today.
I like it. You look beautiful, glowing.
Thank you.
Next thing you know, she's gonna tell me she got $1 million and a baby. Okay, so
speak that into existence.
You know she be trading, y'all. I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on her.
I'm not a trader.
What? No, she be trading stocks. She know exactly what I'm talking about.
Trading. Mm-hmm. Yes. I be up in the gym working on my fitness with my finances. Okay, we do have a question. Q says, how often should an appraisal be done on your own home? That's a very good question, Q. I would say every few years have an appraisal done, or as often as you think. Are you going to sell your house soon, Q? Is that what it is? You should definitely know what your home is worth, but appraisals are quite expensive, okay? So I would get it done maybe every 5 years if necessary, if you don't plan on staying in your home for a while. But appraisals I would have done if you're selling right before you sell your home. That way you're not trying to sell your home now. Okay, so you really don't have to have an appraisal done that often. It's something that can be done every few years. But if you're about to sell your home, I would have it done right before you place it on the market, just so that you have an idea of what your home could be worth. And if it's not in what the range that you want it to sell it for, that appraisal could give you an idea of what you could fix in order to bring the equity up a little bit more. Do we have any more questions? If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the show there. Next week, we might be taking a little hiatus, just so that we can come back with some fresh and new energy. But I will also make an announcement on the Facebook channel, South Florida Oasis, if anything. Oh, we have another question from Q. Just curious to know how to manage equity if needed to use towards repairs. Okay. Yeah, so I will get an appraisal done as needed. So if you're curious, have one done. If you want to get repairs, have one done. If you want to take out some money from your home, have one done. But it's not something that's necessary to be done. Okay, what you should be having done often is inspections on your home to make sure that your roof is up to date and things of that nature. That I would have done often. Okay, you're absolutely welcome, Q. If there's anything else, did you have any questions on anything else that we shared today? Let me know before we sign off. We talked a little bit about stocks, even though real estate stocks was one of them, so we didn't go too off topic, right? And 203k loans, if you're not familiar with the 203k loan is a renovation loan, but you don't necessarily have to do a huge renovation in order to use the loan. Okay. Yeah, I would for a first time home buyer. Yes, you can refinance with a 203k loan. I would recommend it for first time home buyers though, especially in this market. We are in a seller's market, and in Florida, because Florida is just expensive as hell. With their real estate, I really feel like whoever's coming up with these prices just sits on the throne and is like, how much do I want to? All right, $500,000 for this house. It's ridiculous. There's no rhyme or reason. And then now with the coronavirus, home prices are even more astronomical. So you're paying way more for a house than what it's actually worth. So that's why research is important, and knowing what type of market is important as well. that you're in. Okay? All right, guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to get at me. My social media handle is right here on the screen at South Florida Oasis. Send me a DM or you can call me. My number is 754-400-0181. I'm always looking forward to helping you guys. And that is all that we have for today. We'll see you on Monday. Good night.
Bye-bye.